Hi Lorenzo! This video is for your Piano Adventures 2A book, the Puppet Show and Kitch-iti-kipi. And I will actually, I sent you a separate sheet of the crescendo exercise for each of those songs. And I wrote out the part where I want you to practice, and they're both, for each one you have like a form, totally 4 measures that you're just going to isolate and practice the crescendo before playing the whole song. This is so that you get really used to how to get the crescendo just right when you get to the place where you have to play the crescendo. And on it, I think on both pieces I wrote the metronome 96. So I'm going to get the metronome on, and I will just demonstrate the puppet show, the crescendo exercise for the puppet show. So it starts at mezzo piano, and then at measure 2 is a mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte, and staying forte. So start from the top. Oh, I mean, the top of that, exercise. I think it's a little bit hard to, really hear for the dynamic level change on the video, but I'm trying to follow as best as I can the dynamic symbols at the bottom of the music, under the music. So mezzo piano, mezzo forte, and forte. So that's the 4 measure part where you actually have the crescendo. So now I'll play the whole thing with the metronome at 96 still. Mezzo piano all the time. Mezzo piano still. Mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte. Okay, so that's the exercise will help you get a really good idea where to make the crescendo as gradual. The most important thing about playing crescendo and decrescendo is so that you don't suddenly get loud or suddenly get soft. It's not like an accent. You take time to increase the level of the loudness. Okay, so I have the other exercise for the Kitch-iti-kipi, which is kind of this is even more. The crescendo happens. Well, let me see. I guess it is a 2 measure crescendo, which is the same as in the puppet show, but you have 2 of them in an 8 measure song, and you have to repeat the whole song. So in Kitch-iti-kipi, when you're playing the whole song, 16 measures of it, you have 4 times that you have to do the crescendo. So that's why this exercise that you have on the sheet is really to help you practice just those, so that if you have to do that 4 times, you have to be quite used to it, right? And on top of that, you have to go from piano to I put a fortissimo on the crescendo exercise because the left hand, where it gets an accent, a forte with an accent is basically the same as a fortissimo. So this one is an even bigger crescendo. You start from piano, and then you have mezzo piano, mezzo forte, forte, and a fortissimo. So you go up a lot. It's a much bigger crescendo. So I will still practice that with a 96, so that you still get the correct timing as you practice the crescendo. So you start with the piano. Okay, so the very first G sharp piano, and the left hand, the C major chord will be a fortissimo. So between this, that's a big difference, and that's, you want to feel the dynamic space in between that. Okay, so yeah, okay, I might as well play it once and then repeat it. Okay, so that's measures 3 and 4. That corresponds to measures 3 and 4 in your song, and then the other part of the exercise are the measures 7 and 8, and the crescendo on that is the same, exactly the same rate of crescendo. Start with the piano and you get to fortissimo. I'll do that again. From piano, mezzo forte, forte. I forgot to play the left hand. Whenever you have, in this case, it just so happened that you started the piano and you will bring it up to a fortissimo. So you literally go through piano, mezzo forte, forte, and a fortissimo. It's really 5 degrees up. Sometimes, I recommend students to have an idea that, how when you're watching TV and you change the volume level on that, they give you like different bars. Maybe they might give you a number. Like in my TV at home, they give you a number, and I usually listen to the piano, not the piano, I mean the TV, set at about, volume level set about 18, and when you bring it up to like a 60, it's really loud. You can hear it all, outside the house. So sort of like that. And you can imagine, you can give it like a certain number, like a piano and a fortissimo. Those are the but piano in dynamic cymbals, there are other cymbals that are even softer than a piano. There's pianissimo and there's a pianissimo, and then there's one or two more louder than a fortissimo. There's a fortissimo, fortissimo, and so 2 P's or 3 P's, and 2 forte, 2 F's or 3 F's or 4 F's even. So the range depends. So maybe you say, well, okay, the piano, I'm going to say it's a 3. Mezzo piano is a 4. Mezzo forte is a 5. And forte is a 6. Fortissimo is a 7. So you're going from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If that makes sense. So we're going to do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Something like that. Anything to help you get an idea, the difference, how it's kind of like going up the steps, or just everything just getting bigger, like growing. So that's a crescendo exercise that you would definitely want to spend some time on before playing the song. And now I will get to the song, and I will keep the 96 metronome, and I will play the whole thing with the repeat. Soft. Soft again. Soft. Okay, so I hope you were able to hear the crescendo on those. It might have been a little bit hard to hear because of the metronome sound, but but I think you still get the feel. And then as time goes on and you start seeing music before you actually play them, and you're probably going to start noticing things like that before you even begin. Like if, let's say that you have a piece of music that you're learning, and you see that crescendo sign, and you say, oh wow, there it goes from piano to a forte. That's a big crescendo. Those are the kind of things when you actually listen to a piece of music that really leaves a lasting impression, because a big crescendo or very loud part or really really soft parts, there are lots of parts of music that are different, that's not just average, something a little bit different than like somewhere in the middle. And the challenge of playing the Kitch-iti-kipi well is to get those 4 crescendos well controlled. But I know it's kind of hard. So yeah, keep on practicing. And I will now continue on to our detective agency, the next song. And this one, I think, yes, I sent you the finger exercise. Finger exercise so that you know the hand position. But before that, the rhythm. I would like you to clap out the rhythm, and I sent you a sheet by just isolating the rhythm pattern on it, so you don't have to be looking at all those all the 5 lines. So let me see, what was the tempo? Oh yes, this one too. We will be using the metronome 96. You know what? It's going to be long. I'm going to cut here and go to the, put it in the next video. Okay? So, the next video is coming up next.